What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Football Manager 2017 video. Today I've got the centre mids of my Football Manager 2017 Wonderkids series that I am doing on this channel. I obviously done it for Football Manager 2016 as well. If you haven't seen the other videos, be sure to go and check them out. I've already done the goalkeepers, the defenders and the defensive mids. There will be links down below in the description to them videos. How this video will work, I'll show you the best centre midfielder Wonderkids in Football Manager 2017 when you first load up the game, and then obviously what they look like in 5 years time to see how they've developed in their first few years of their career. If you like this type of video, be sure to let me know by dropping a like on the video, and if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we're starting off with the least valuable of the players when you first load the game. This is a 17-year-old German centre midfielder who is valued at £425,000, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen, obviously in the Bundesliga, and his name is Kai Havertz. I'm not too sure if I've got that right. I say that in every video. Let's just move on. Anyway, this guy is best suited to an advanced playmaker or a deep line playmaker as well, to be fair. He can play quite a few positions in the midfield, but not very well. His his centre midfield is his key position. As I said, just 17 years of age, so obviously he's going to be 22 when we've finished the 5 years. So obviously he still won't even be at his peak, but we will have a good indication of how he develops. Looking at some of his key attributes at this moment in time, he's actually pretty decent, to be fair. First touch 40 and technique 14, teamwork 40 and vision 30, and work rate as well 16, which is pretty impressive. You need that if you want to play a high pressing game in Football Manager. So this guy could be a guy for you if you like to play high pressing football. Interestingly, he has yet to make a cap for obviously Germany, and he's actually yet to play a professional match for Bayer Leverkusen either. I'm not too sure if that is actually right, but it will be interesting to see how that develops in 5 years. Okay, so moving on to our next guy, we have got a Portuguese 19-year-old. Obviously, the value has gone up significantly. His name is Andre Horta. Again, he can play a wide range of positions across the midfield, but especially the centre mid, and he also plays attacking mid quite well, so obviously more attack-minded. He's valued at £6.5 million, as I said, 19 years of age, Portuguese. He's yet to make a full or youth appearance for Portugal. He's actually currently at Benfica, but if we take a look at some of his key attributes again, at just the age of 19, he is actually quite well rounded. You can see some of the key attributes there on screen. If you do want to pause, feel free to do so and take a look at some of them attributes at any point, but I'm just going to jump onto the next player anyway. Okay, so next up we actually have an English lad, and to be fair, he suits quite a lot of roles, but we'll get to that in just a moment. We've got the 19-year-old who does play for Bournemouth, formerly of Leeds. I'm not too sure if he's on loan at Bournemouth. No, he's actually moved to Bournemouth, to be fair. It's Lewis Cook. He can also play defensive mid, to be fair to him, but he is more suited to that centre mid role. He can play the advanced playmaker, the box-to-box, the deep line, the Roman playmaker. Whatever you want him to do, he will pretty much do it, to be fair. As I said, he is valued at £10 million, 19 years of age, on a £30,000 per week contract at Bournemouth down on the south coast. And once more, some of his attributes for a 19-year-old are pretty decent, to be fair, especially in that mental column. He seems to be quite well switched on, to be fair. Let's move on to our next player anyway. Okay, so the value in these players has doubled and more since the last one. We have got the 18-year-old, obviously Portuguese international, already at just the age of 18, having already made 11 appearances. He was at the Euros. He caught a lot of people's attention at the Euros, and obviously resulted in a massive move to Bayern Munich, formerly of Benfica, but it is obviously now Bayern Munich's Renato Sanchez. £23 million, as I said, his value is when you first load the game. He's on a £25,000 per week contract, and once again, he can play a wide range of positions in the midfield, but he is best suited to that centre mid spot as a Roman playmaker, interestingly, or he can also play the box-to-box midfielder very well as well. Taking a look at some of his attributes, again, he is very well developed for just 18 years of age. I believe he is the youngest player in this list. I'm not too sure how young the first player was. I'll have a look at that in just a moment. But obviously, he's probably one of the best rounded players already in Football Manager. And we'll move on to our final player. Obviously, we all know about him, another English lad. But he actually has the highest value, mainly probably because he is actually English and he does play for Tottenham and he's on a decent contract. But he is 20 years of age. Dele Alli, obviously the England midfielder, 20 years of age, 12 caps already for England, and once again he can actually play the centre attacking role pretty well, pretty much to the same ability that he can play in the centre mid, but I'm classing him as a centre mid. Again, his attributes are outstanding for a 20-year-old, and you can already tell that this guy is going to be one of the best players in the game in 5 years' time. Okay, so we're 5 years into the future, as you can see, and we are starting off with the least valuable of these players. However, he is actually still pretty valuable. Obviously, it is the German 22-year-old Kai Havertz. I believe I've said that right. I said that before, to be fair. But he's actually the centre mid, obviously, but all these players are centre mids. He is still at Bayer Leverkusen. He has had a loan period with Hertha Berlin, but he's not actually permanently transferred to any team. So obviously he's valued at £15 million on a much better contract. He is classed as a first team player, and his attributes have come on quite nicely. Still only 22 years of age, interestingly, so, you know, it would be interesting to see what he's like in 5 years' time. Maybe I will do a follow-up video for these players, because a lot of them will be still quite young, but in 5 years' time, 22 years of age, that is what he will look like. Okay, next up we have the 24 years of age Portuguese international, and he's still at Benfica, to be fair to him, Andre Horta. He's £18.5 million in value now, and to be fair, his attributes kind of, you know, give you a good reason why he is of that value. I still feel like he'll be a pretty decent player for Premier League teams. You know, he's a decent option to have. Let's see who wants him. That will give a good indication. So, Lille and AC Milan. So, yeah, top European clubs do want him. So, obviously, that's a decent thing to note. And as I mentioned before, these players are still pretty young, 24 years of age. He's probably not yet hit his peak. Moving on to another 24-year-old, the English lad Lewis Cook. Obviously, we've shown you Dele Alli, who was at Tottenham before, and we also shown you Lewis Cook, both English. But now Lewis Cook is at Tottenham as well. Obviously, he's now 24 years of age. He's made 18 appearances for England, getting 2 goals. He's a first teamer for Tottenham, going off his contract anyway, valued at £28 million, and he's earning £71,000 per week. We will come to the transfer in just a moment, but obviously you can see he can play a wide range of positions, and he can also play defensive mid quite well. But again, in terms of his attributes, if you want to pause at any point and take a look, you are welcome to do so, but I would say he's probably one of the better centre mids in the Premier League, just looking at his value and his attributes alone. Now, moving on to our next centre mid, and again, it's the English lads, and he's still at Tottenham, to be fair. Dele Alli, valued at £44 million now, and he's obviously got a key player contract with £240,000 per week, which is absolutely crazy money, let's be honest. He's 25 years of age. He's made 62 caps for England. Just 25 years of age. He could go on to be the most capped England player, to be fair. And 14 goals in that time is a decent return rate as well. Looking at his attributes, really impressive. This is the first time I've looked at them, to be fair. Some of them could be a bit higher, like corners, but that's set pieces, to be fair. You don't really need corners, throw-ins, and, you know, penalty corners, free kicks and throw-ins to be that high, to be fair. Leadership isn't too high, but as long as you've got a captain in your team, you're probably not too bothered by that. He scores 55 goals in 192 appearances for Spurs, so a better than 1 in 4 ratio from centre mid or attacker mid. That is pretty impressive, to be fair. As I said, pause the video if you want to check on his attributes. But moving on to the last guy at Tottenham's rivals, he's still only 23 years of age. It is Renato Sanchez, and I do believe he is the most expensive midfielder in the world at this moment in time in this game. He is at Arsenal, as I said, 23 years of age. He's made 57 caps for Portugal, so again, he could probably go on to be one of the most capped Portugal players in history. He's on a £300,000 per week contract. I thought Dele Alli's contract was high. This guy's is even higher, to be fair. But his attributes justify the high price tag, the high wage package. We'll take a look at his transfer to Arsenal in just a moment. It was actually quite a few years ago, so maybe the fee wasn't that high. Maybe Arsenal have developed him into this type of player. But if you want to pause and look at some of them attributes, I'm just taking a look whilst talking. They are pretty impressive, to be fair. And still only 23 years of age. This guy is going to get better and better with a few more years down the line. Okay, so when Arsenal actually signed him, he only had a season at Bayern Munich before Arsenal signed him for £43.5 million. So obviously, what they saw in that first season at Bayern Munich did impress them, to be fair. And obviously, you know, they went and bought him for a lot of money, to be fair. And he's actually, you know, kind of justified that. He's, you know, looking at some of them stats. He plays a lot of games, probably not very injury prone, and he has a decent return rate, doesn't he? A couple of goals, couple of assists, a few player of the match performances, and quite a decent average match rating. But that is all for this Football Manager 2017 Centre Mid Wonderkids video. If you are looking for more Wonderkids videos, as I said before, go and check out the ones that are already on the channel, and also be sure to keep your eyes peeled on the channel over the coming days for the other ones that I will be doing. If you have enjoyed this video though, be sure to let me know by dropping a like on the video. Also comment down below if you will consider getting any of these centre mids in your Football Manager save, and how much will you be willing to spend on them. Also, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But thank you for watching, guys. Until next time, Goodbye.